You should know that she knew what was going on.
What?
Do you? Yeah, you had to follow the leader. There, no other.
No
Sheever,
idea.
educate this man.
You know
Show him.
Well, the only reason I know it is for a different reason, but...
Do it again. Come on. Here we go. Ready?
Oh!
Hey!
Do it again.
Do it again. Do it again. This way. Hey!
Is that it? What is that? I've never seen...
Now we get a bigger force than ourselves.
This
or
is
something.
good. This is,
Oh,
this is
nice.
good on both sides.
What is it? Where is it from? Is it from some? I don't know.
You don't really know what it's from. I thought you were joking. Oh boy.
I've seen Envy do it.
Okay. We
a
will,
very long time
okay,
ago, Envy did it.
That means you shouldn't do it.
When the game starts, I will come back and educate you guys about this and educate you about Al Green and.
But let's first educate you on these predictions.
Come on now. What you
got?
got?
Nip.
Kyle, tell me.
I
Who is
would
it?
actually favor Empire, but if it were any other team, I'd be like, yeah, Empire for sure. But it's Fata's Razor. This is his best hero.
It
Okay.
is.
And I think that they have a shot at just running this game over. But if it gets late enough, I think that Empire will certainly outscale. It's just a question of whether their supports stay alive in fights.
Okay.
If one of them dies without getting a spell off, Nip can just run him over. But they provide so much lockdown. The BKB windows for NIP will be everything. If they can either... Yeah, it's the BKB windows. NIP will win if they get those and they translate that into a huge high ground. Otherwise, Empire will take it. It's
And
like
Empire
50-50.
needs it to go long, right? Is that
Yeah,
what you're saying?
but I'm going with the underdog.
Underdog,
Underdogs,
Empire.
baby. Let's
Whoa.
do it.
Woo, 4-1
Alright.
from Loot Bet. What do you got?
I got Nip, of course.
You know, I got to go with my boy Kyle. I like that. This
True.
is, a
Guys.
this is a hungry team. This is a hungry
Ninjas
team.
in Pajamas versus Empire.
Listen
a
to
team
me.
That
Hungry
made it
dogs
to
run
the
faster.
major versus a team that didn't even make it out of open qualifiers.
Hungry dogs run faster. That's why. It's going to be Empire. At least in game one.
It's normally said underdogs are more hungry, but
No, hungry dogs run faster. I have Empire, but let's get into the games and see if they can actually do it. Get a game from Nip.
There we go. Thank you very much, Rob. We're ready to go. Yes, it's game one of the best of three between NIP and Empire. And as we sort of heard, you know, Kyle saying that he sort of likes what Empire's got going on with the draft. And I have to say, you got to understand his feelings here. They have Mag Jug. They have OD. It's very strong.
I'm finding it hard to relate to Kyle right now because he's clearly never watched Dragon Ball Z, and that hurts me a little bit. I don't remember what it's called when they meld together, but they put on little earrings, and then they do the dance, and then they transform
But what do the
into
earrings
the same.
do?
Okay, so it's like their power curve is not strong enough, right? So they're
Okay.
like, I can't get strong enough to beat the boss. So they're like, what if we just both become the same human and then combine our power together, you know? And then they just each put on one earring and then they transform
But why
together.
that certain pose? Why don't they just go, hey, put the hands out, there we go. Why don't they do it over the head?
I'll just give you the entire
Right.
plot recap for the
Yeah.
Dragon Ball Z
Does
episode.
this spoil some of
Basically,
the season?
Not really.
No,
It's
okay.
basically like they're like, how do I transform to become one person? And then they're like, oh, you have to say this thing and do this dance, and you each put on one earring. And then when you transform into one human, he's wearing both earrings, so it proves that it worked.
I see.
That's how it works.
It doesn't make a
So
lot
basically,
of sense.
Sheever and Kyle are about to become a Sheever-Kyle hybrid.
But why do they need to? Why is there the need in Dragon Ball Z
But
to
be twice
turn
as
two
strong.
humans into one?
Because there's some super strong boss, dude. It's like if there's a super farmed anti-mage.
But what if the super strong
Dude, listen,
boss
stop.
finds
Let me
another
finish.
super
Stop.
strong
He
boss?
doesn't know how to do the transformation,
Oh,
and he
okay.
doesn't have the earrings. So the way to beat the anti-mage is you turn your medium farm Chaos Knight, combine him with your
What is that? It's like the
your
Jug and the
Lifestealer.
Magnus, right? They come together.
Yes, except it would be more like Jug would have like 3 legs instead of just 2, and he would have
Oh,
like
sure,
both
they're
his
not
sword
both-
and the
yeah.
and the
Different-
spear of Magnus together. And you
Yeah,
fight with
different
both.
species, yeah.
Yeah, it'd be weird. You don't want to cross those two. Maybe
No,
they can't
so
because they're not related enough.
They
or
have to
something. I
be
don't know.
2 Dragon Ball Z people to do it.
Or two
whatever
of the
they're
same
called.
race, I would have to guess.
Okay.
So maybe they can't do the death. Senju dance, that might be it, something like that. No, I'm thinking Senju.
It doesn't sound like much of a dance, though. Is there any music?
Nope. It's like verbal. You say things and you do this like thing where you move away and spin your arms in a circle, and then you zip them back to point at each other.
Oh, I see. So the little pose there, that's not the full dance.
That's the end of
That's
the end
that's
of the
just
dance.
The end. Oh, okay.
Where they're like yelling. It's more like standing and sideways and stuff. I don't know. It's a big moment in anime, in Dragon Ball Z, which is
And does it work?
Oh yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
it works in real life too. Yep.
Oh, here we go. So let's see what we've got from this game. See what we've got for the lanes. Going to have Ace and PPD down bottom. CK and Lich ready to farm and at least try to against this aggressive tri-lane from Empire. They're already going to get aggressive already. Sax is going to be there as well down the bottom for the backup. Disruption out onto Ace. means that they can't go on to him anymore. But some tri-lane on tri-lane action down here.
The power of tri-lanes, man. It's it changes things up for sure. But most importantly is how is the matchup on the other side of the map. And what's actually going to happen is lane rotating.
Yeah, Empire said no, we don't want a part of this. They want to make sure that their Jug is up top, and that the one dealing with the tri-lane is the Magnus.
It's one of those situations where Shadow Demon actually hard counters what they were trying to do. Like, both Shackles is fully countered by Disruption, and also Inkswell as well. You just save the guy that's about to take a bunch of damage. So they can't do this tri-lane versus Nip's tri-lane here. It's just not going to be effective. So they have to rotate their lanes, and that's going to put Ursa top against both the Grimstroke and the Juggernaut.
Yeah, it looks like Empire going to set us duo lanes for now. We'll see if NIP do change it up or if they're going to be happy with it. Seeing as such. And this mid lane matchup. So Razor, one of the mids that can do okay against the OD. And we're seeing so far pretty much even CS between these two mid laners. We'll see how that changes up and see if any sort of rotations come around to try and offset the balance in that mid lane matchup. For now, it should just be trading and farm between Kodos and Fada. So I do hear TPs, so there will be a movement once again.
It's probably a good support top. Yeah, that was Shadow Demon going top to cover the Ursa, so he's not number 1v2, which makes sense. I actually really like playing Shadow Demon versus Jug in the late game, so I think Nip, at least for Soxa, is probably pretty happy. But they do have to deal with Empower Juggernaut, and that part is going to be not fun.
No.
Although, SD also counters that, because his ultimate is a long duration Dispel.
Sure.
So for 7 seconds, he won't get bonus damage.
That is very true. But you can imagine as well, if NIP's line up with this Ursa and the Razor, they're going to want to start getting the ball rolling a lot earlier than Empire's lineup's built to do so. This Jug has Dream. Has got already 6 stacks on him there from the swipes of 33. Will be able to cut his way through the trees. Make sure 33 doesn't get any further touches onto him. Mid lane Fada. And trying to lead in, and we are now seeing actually the CS really break apart there in the mid lane. Down bottom, NIP do claim the first blood as they'll catch out the Magnus with just the 2 of them.
Yep, just abuse the Frost Armor as well as CK as a hero. Pretty easy kill. I don't even blame the Observer for missing that one. There was a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about the mid lane. Look, it's 13 to 5. Look at the denies. Look at this Razor. I mean, I said it was even no. This Fada's showing how good Razor can be against OD in this mid lane matchup, as he's absolutely destroying Kodos. 13 to 15 against 8 for 6.
Yeah, it's even if he does banish him, it's kind of similar to what we saw last game with the Veno Gale on Razor. He's still going to steal a lot of your damage, and then he's just going to be happy anyways. The offlane Ursa is also pretty cool, because normally if you rely on that to be your hard carry, it's a little bit hard to get full value out of it if things go a little bit weaker earlier or later on. So this way they just guarantee the against melee matchup, and it just is going to be a lane win potentially, and also just transition as like a space creator where you just run at people constantly and do a lot of damage.
I mean, and at the moment that is the only lane really that the Jugs, that they're getting any farm on the cause Empire is the Jug. In fact, now being chased down 33. One more touch would probably do it. He tried to drop down a tree dream to block him off, and it's going to throw 33 off the scent.
Okay, that was good. It was just a little bit of moment, and he wasn't quite ready for it, but he does end up eating the tree either way, so he gets extra regen. It's a decent way to deal with it. And even keeping Jug low, I guess he has used a salve here, so maybe that offsets some of the benefit. But
we'll see down bottom another kill for NIP. Getting aggressive, taking the Shaman out of the lane. It's a rough start to the game in the lanes for Empire up and down the map. The only person getting any sort of size performance is the Jug. They're going to try for an aggressive maneuver onto 33. He will hide inside the tree line. Does, of course, still have the Shadow Demon by his side if he needs a little bit of a save, but that might not be enough, and it doesn't look to be. As the Shackles are going to be there from Sayo onto Saxa, allowing Black Archangel to finish off 33 as Empire get themselves their first kill on the board.
That was a little bit of a 33 mistake. He actually needed to run south. I like that he ran left initially, and it's good that Soxa held his disruption, but once the Shadow Demon showed up, he actually needed the Ursa to run south. That way the disruption could offset both a Jug Spin or a potential Shackle. But once he ran all the way up there was nothing else Soxa could do to keep him alive. So either way, still going well for Ninjas in Pyjamas with Ace's double kills. By the way, if you're curious about the discussion about why CK got better, it's the reduction in cooldown for his third passive. It's been on cooldown for a long time, but more recently it got changed to 5 seconds from 7 seconds at level 1 or 8 seconds, and then most recently it got changed to 3 seconds on a cooldown. Yeah. So you can use it very often in your lane to get a lot of health back and also deal damage. And now players are experimenting with getting more points of the third skill.
I was going to say, because especially in the position 1 role, I think there's always the temptation to max the passive now.
Yeah, and it just in some ways is better. The lifesteal aspect doesn't go up very much. The cooldown doesn't adjust, but the percentage crit potential goes up by a decent amount. It's not like a massive change. One game I've tried it and it felt kind of mediocre because then I had less points in Reality Rift and then the cooldown was really long on that.
Yeah.
But Reality Rift as a skill is just not very good right now.
No,
basically.
And if you're going to be focusing on farming, you know the passive's just going to be much more useful than the potential with the Bolt and the Rift.
It's basically a regen skill.
Yeah.
It's really effective while also still trading well with your opponent. And it's such a low cooldown, you can do it often. So it works out. It's a nice change to the hero, makes him a better laner. But he's not the most traditional one hero. But between the Ursa and the CK, they should have lots of options this game.
Gonna see here up top, PPD having a bit of a push onto the Jug with the Frost Blast. Make sure they've got the wave coming around underneath the tower. As Empire won't be able to do anything for a little bit as this tri lane. Both the Lich and the Shadow Demon being hit. Very hard for Empire to get aggressive on that Ursa, with both heroes having potential to save 33 from any aggression. The mid lane continue to look pretty one-sided. 34-23 on Fada compared to 25 for 6.
Wow.
So many denies. You're seeing it in the levels here. Level 5 against the level 7. He is level 6 now, but it's a clear one level at least between these two mids. As there just hasn't been any sort of movements towards this mid lane to try and do something about this Razor. Could be a problem down the line as Fada's Razor, Sheev said on the panel, it's one of his classics. He knows what he's doing on this hero and he's going to love this sort of meta. Razor definitely a hero that's risen back towards the top because of the favorable matchups that you can pull him in, like this one that Fada's showing us today.
I think one of my favorite things about the hero right now is that his skill builds are so versatile. Like, we're seeing different ones every single game. And every single time that we've seen him today, I think the skill builds are actually correct. But they've just been vastly different. In this game, Fada just maxed out his passive right away to increase his AoE damage, which means that he can kill mid faster, then he can hit up the jungle, and that's exactly what he's been doing. He's stacking camps right now in the jungle, you'll see. He's going to grab a bot rune, to grab an illusion rune, and then he goes back mid again to push the wave out. So this is going to mean that he can counteract what OD might want to do. He can threaten the tower. It's also going to increase his farm speed by a huge amount and get him more levels too. And in the meantime, because he's jungling now he sends PPD mid, and PPD is going to get a faster level 6 because of this. And he's still not being punished that much because he's still getting neutral creep skilled. And all he has to do is kite. So that's what the Tranquil Boots provide as well. He's got regen, he's got enough movement speed that they'll never hit him, and he's still going to collect items fast. That's really cool.
In terms of looking at the cores around the map, sure, it's both offlaners that are falling behind, but very much Madden on the offlane Magnus falling behind the most as he's sitting there on par with the support net worth at the moment. It's going to be a tough game for the Magnus to get back in and extra pressure on the Jug and OD to perform if Empire wish to take this game. So up top, towards Saxa, they've got the Phantom Embrace, setting up for the stun to kick in. 33 is going to be there to force them to back off. Stream, not quite level 6 yet, so doesn't have an Omni Slash. Can't afford to try and fight this. And in fact, Black Archangel could be the one in trouble. 33 ready to chase him down. Stick charges are popped, but it won't save the Grimstroke. As he goes down, Dream, Blade Fury has been used, but 33 doesn't want to try and punish after it underneath the tower. He'll play it safe, back off, as at the same time, Fada in that mid lane, able to kill off the Shaman. As I can only imagine, Seiyu came to the middle to try and see if he can find that XP towards his level 6, but it ends in his death.
It's probably really easy to run out of Shadow Shaman right now because he probably doesn't have that many levels in Hex. So the only way he could disable Razor is by shackling him. If he does that, all it does is gives Razor time for his passive to proc again and his ultimate to deal damage. So it was just likely a simple rundown once. By the time he's on top of him, he was already pretty screwed. Unless he had Hex levels, and even then is probably not enough. Kind of like where Peter's sitting for this, prepping for the bounty rune that's about to come. Kind of hiding in a position where he could potentially jump on the Shaman. Yeah, he doesn't have any Hex levels, very easy to kill him.
Yeah, they're going to bring the TP in as well from the Shadow Demon Saxa to see if they can get kills on top of trying to contest these runes. Ace will be able to pick the rune up, turns towards Mana. Mana's going to have to back up a Black Archangel, turns in straight away with the Ink Swell, does manage to stun up Saxa, but he's already gone down. Stuart's going to be there from Mana, but he's come back into the action and is going to get pulled straight back across, getting beaten down by Ace and Saxa with the crits. Omni Slash does barely anything at this stage of the game, as now Dream, man, you find Ace, he's trying to chase him, but Ace just a little too speedy. The Sal's there as well, so Ace will be fine. A rotation has come in from Kodos, as he's able to move in with that haste, does manage to claim the kill onto PPD. Not the core kill they would have hoped for, as in response, Fada has also turned up this fight down bottom. Finds Seiyu in the trees with the Eye of the Storm. There's support being taken the same time up top. A bit of a dive being made by 33 as he will force Madden to back up on the Magnus. Pressure's going to be there towards that tier 1 tower, and as you can see, the net worth just continuing to grow favorably.
Look at that difference. 6,000 at 11 minutes. Yeah. It's incredibly high.
Black Archangel lucky to get away there with the Ink Swell stunt.
That was really close. If he had his Yule's finished, that was
I was going to say, that's not going to help him next time with the Yule Scepter pretty much done. Bottom, 11 attempts on Ace. He'll get the bit of the life still there with the crit. He's going to look to try and run it off. PPD will be able to find the kill onto Madden there with the help of 33 up top, but down bottom is the bigger one for Empire. They get Ace. The CK top net worth being taken out of the game as he just hung around a little too long on a little too low HP. We'll see the OD Kodos pick up the Midas and attempt to help himself get back into the action, and we'll see again whilst we were watching bottom, the action up top, just a simple dive there from the two of them, the Ursa and the Lich. Yeah.
The Chain Frost is a big thing. That's one of the coolest things about Lich is that he does function kind of similar to a defensive support hero, but then later on, once he gets his ultimate, his kill potential is huge. And we saw that earlier today against the Legion Commander. The Lich was like just doing well, and then all of a sudden when Chain Frost comes out, the amount of damage output is incredible. Was the CK passive? It was more than 3 seconds, I think. I think I was wrong. I think it was like 5 seconds.
I think it's 4.
4?
I think it's 4 flat on all levels.
Okay. I was close. Close-ish. Fast Drum is the pickup for Ursa that he's aiming for. I kind of like this. A little bit of movement speed increase plus phase boots means you run real quick.
Yeah, and I guess they already got a good amount of catch and an ability to get the Ursa on top of a target with the Shadow Demon, Lich, CK, all heroes that just allow the Ursa to close the gap without having to rely on, you know, getting a Blink Dagger, which obviously it's a nice item, but if you can have something that's going to give you just all-round stats, you're going to be wanting to opt towards that instead.
This Arcane Rune actually not going to be usable. I guess the Serpent Wards are on cooldown for a while. This is more of like a team jungle thing, but it looks like they are going to smoke with this most likely. I guess not. Just focus on farming for now.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, the temptation may have been there because they do have the Omni Slash and RP available.
I would have thought that they would maybe move for it, but maybe they don't see an opportunity. Hypothetically, they could try to clear the top side of the map too, but maybe not the most convincing moment. They're kind of just farming for now, but they do get a lot stronger later on. Like, that's definitely one of their weaknesses, is that heroes like OD, definitely, he needs time to get online a little bit. And especially when his laning stage was not super favorable, that's going to be the case. Oh, here's a grab. Oh, very unfortunate for 3-3 there. He walked down the exact same moment
just as the OD was going to be walking up
there. If he
there.
had just been high ground there, that's very likely a kill between all of Lich's abilities and the damage output that he's ready for.
Yeah.
Trying to grab somebody here. They'll spot out one, but they will just have gank the tier 1 tower.
And with the OD seeing that, likely to be caught out by this positioning from NIP, as NIP will simply show themselves, start to push onto the tier 1 tower mid. As Empire do start to stand their ground around. See how much NIP wants to try and push it.
It's cool. It's very easy for them to clear the enemy creep wave. That's the big downside for not getting that OD kill. If they do, they take that tier 1 tower 100% because they can commit to it. But if they don't grab any kills, then their opponents have to just buy a little time and then go for the snag. We'll spin TP here. We'll keep him completely alive. They're looking to dive mid tower. I don't know if we'll catch him on
they've
camera.
got it. They'll get away with it. Fighter's in position to maybe try and find more. He's going to go straight away with the Eye of the Storm. So he's going to have to lock down with the Shackles. That's going to allow him to bring Dream in. RP and Omni Slash down. They'll kill up Fighter. That's a big one there for the team. They're now going to look towards 33 as well. Kodos sort of backed up there. He didn't feel confident they could try and go for it. Either way, 33 is able to walk off. But Fada taken down. Again, yeah. Empire, they do find a big kill.
That was a lot of damage. I think Fada ended up going for the health talent over the agility one, which is a little surprising, but considering his item build was decent. I just kind of feel like he maybe should have gotten a bracer this game, though. Maybe 2. Just because it gives you magic resistance, and that's usually a place where Razor falls a little bit flat. But maybe he justifies like, oh, I skip the agility talent, I get Wraith Bands. Maybe if he went agility talent, you get bracers. I'm not sure, though.
Actually, up top, they have the damage output to kill Ace, though, and it doesn't look to be the case. In fact, it's going to be NIP the ones to turn. As the claws are there from 33, ripping apart Seiu's Shaman.
Definitely a bit of an interesting build. I love the Windlace with Drum. That's such a cool way to do it. Without phase, he's running 434 movement speed. When he turns it on, he's going to be 515. This is what's cool about this build. And you just need to abuse Windlaces, man.
I'm going to try and run down Dream here. Dream is going to look to turn with the Blade Fury. Now backs away. Knows that 33 is still ready to punch into him as the swipes will stack up. Over the Earthshock, Black Archangel is going to be the one caught out. As Ace with the Phantasm drags him in. Brings him down. Will make the space for the Jug. Dream to get out of there. He has got a TP. It's like he wants to try and push another wave. And so we'll go for the Blade Fury, and yeah, go straight for the TP out. Damage won't quite be there in time. Actually, it's a long TP. Where's he TPing to?
Must have been Shrine or something.
Oh, he must have been. He got greeted with the TP. 100%. Doing that in lane, I mean, it was very likely that NIP was still going to be around. Dream, he played his cards and he played them wrong there.
And you know what's the most next? It looks so simple that he just kept attacking. I definitely would have stopped. I would have been like, nah, he's gone.
He's TP'd out. But
he's definitely gone. But he just kept attacking.
He knows there's
he's
just
like,
that
maybe
chance.
He went to the Shrine, just maybe.
And he did. Down bottom, Kodos and Seiya will be able to pick up Saxa.
Oh, there's a Midas on OD. He's 2-0-0 now. Not bad.
He's catching back up into the game.
But
he really is. He's closing that gap between him and Fada.
Also is stacked. He has
Yes.
he's an armlet and a hand of Midas. All of that attack speed translates to his illusions. So when he pops his ulti later on, you're going to see heroes dying really quick. Don't see too many armlets on CKs and so far in this tournament, but that's usually because the CK ends up going for the offlane.
Yes.
Very likely what Nip did was they picked it semi-early on, and then
He's not using his Midas, though. Cap.
That's true. Shit player.
Oh, 33. Gets the ult off before he gets RP'd. As Fada is ready to just start to run into the center. The three of them left. Fada, he's just gone straight in.
Same thing as before here. He
wants to go for this, but there's no team around him. He'll get the Yules off now, but he's sort of surely dead, trapped in the wards. Fada just feeds.
We didn't need to look at that. It's fine. The issue basically is that he needs to Yules himself before the major this stuff happens. But the problem is that there's a lot of hard lockdowns on Empire's side, whether it's Hex or Shackle or the Grimstroke, Ink Swell. Even if he uses the Ink Swell dodge, that's fine, but he probably didn't feel like it was important enough to bother with. But as soon as the Shaman shows up and hexes him, he's just screwed because he's going to get chain disabled for 10 seconds. He needs to move, he needs to attack sometimes, but most importantly move, and stuns just fully counter that. So that's definitely one of the issues of this build. If he gets like magic resistance, I don't even know if he gets saved there because OD's still going to do pure damage.
Yeah.
But he's kind of in a weird place. It's like one of those games where BKB is like absolutely mandatory
I'm sure he's got to get it.
But he was so far ahead, Yules look like the most obvious thing. It's like, I'm really far ahead. This is going to make me faster. It's going to give me options and kills. Maybe he needed to do something like, you know what he should have done? He should have static linked the Grimstroke, and then he needed to Yules the Grimstroke. Because then it would dispel the Ink Swell off Grimstroke, and it would give him time to collect damage. I think something like that would have been the better move. Because it's just too hard for him to predict when the disables are going to come. So it's just like a weird play adjustment that he needs to make. Or maybe have his allies back him up more. But he's so far ahead that he probably feels like he can kill everybody.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely did there, just running straight into them. Whilst the rest of his team was backing out and looking for kills elsewhere in the jungle.
It's a weird place to go to again in Empower.
What, just from the jungle?
Just deep into the jungle, cut some trees, and all of a sudden
reappears. And
the magical jungle Magnus Fairy.
Oh, they get fodder again!
Oh, sick. Good for them. Well, we'll never know. JK, we know what happened. It was OD and it was Shaman. And they basically
without the sound, I mean,
they were way out of position. If you look at where that creep wave was, they were basically waiting there for fodder to come forward.
Yeah, they were prepared. It caught him up. Fodder's got to be careful. I mean, sure, we saw 10 minutes in, we're like, damn, they got a 6K lead. It's now 19 minutes in. It's still, sure, it is a 6K lead, but it hasn't changed. This has been the same state of the game 9 minutes ago. Empire have been able to slow down the climbing and advantage that NIP were building.
But either way, it's still looking pretty good for NIP. The CK is still
Ace is
ridiculously farmed, and he's a hero that does buttloads of physical damage. And that's actually, lots of single target physical damage is actually one of the counters to OD. Just because even if he uses BKB, you can still kill him usually. But I don't think OD has a BKB yet. He's probably approaching it, and going for a heart on Ace next as well will help him and his illusion stay alive.
Here we go. NIP smoked up, ready to make some action happen with Ace. Smoke's going to be dispelled. They've got the disruption set up onto the Jug. PPD and Ace are going to be moving round. Going for the Blade Fury. TP out. Is there anything to go through it to cancel it? The damage, that'll do. As they will beat down Dream before he's able to make it out of there. The rest of the team of Empire back off. Make sure that they're not caught off. We'll see top an attempt from Madden to take the 2 bounty runes, but Sax has already grabbed his. Madden will just be able to get the 1. But the OD, in fact, 20 minutes in, he's gone straight for the Hex. He's got the Hex complete on the OD.
That's so fast, actually. That's incredible. It's really good, especially against heroes like Ursa. And if we talk about the issues with Disable that Razor's already dealing with, it's just going to get worse.
Yeah.
So, very quick Hex.
Yeah, they've got to watch out. But it does mean that, of course, he doesn't have sort of that defensive item like the BKB.
It's okay.
But yeah, if he's the first one to make the move, it doesn't matter.
It's both offensive and defensive,
Yeah.
really, because if they're disabled, then they can't attack you. So that's the cool thing about disables.
Let's see if Empire can do anything about the pit, and they certainly can't with the bear in there.
Our observer barely caught Roche. I doubt
See, it was that quick.
I doubt Empire was able to pay attention.
33 takes the Aegis, and he himself, after the Basher drums,
He
getting
did.
the BKB.
The Basher was used actually to break the stun on Jug earlier, to break his spin TP.
Yes, it was.
Which I think is the reason he bought it. He was basically saying, like, look, we have no way to stop Jug from split pushing with spin. He can basically push aggressively in areas that we don't want. And then if we get semi-close or he thinks that we're coming, he's just going to spin TP every time. So instead, he just gets that fast drum with Windlace with phase boots. He can make himself really fast and basically initiate without needing to spend a lot of money on a Blink Dagger. And now, because of that, he only spent 1,800 basically on the drum Windlace. And then he just has to buy Basher. So it's like he's still getting about the same value out of his hero, but it's just not quite as instant. But it's better early game anyways. It's really cool.
Oh, we're seeing over item-wise, Ace with the completed heart. Say on the Shaman, very close to having money for the Blink Dagger if he wishes to do so. Had about 1,800 gold just now. So again, another method of catch. And they do have a lot of jump catch. Once that Blink's there on the Shaman, they're going to have a Blink Hex on him. The Hex, of course, from the OD. And always, you can never write off the chance of an RP catching NIP off guard. Dream does get responded to down bottom. Saxa coming in with the disruption. Nothing else, though. It's a bit of harassment to spook Dream away from pushing on the tier 2.
Jug illusions are really strong. This is one of the reasons that SD is good against Jug, because the illusions also get the passive, the crit chance. So it's always good to disrupt that guy and to mess with him a little.
And we saw there on the odds, understandably, becoming more comfortable with saying this is a safe game for NIP.
Yeah.
After seeing that opening, you can only imagine they're going to tighten those.
They've got to be really comfortable. Good ward on the high ground is going to give them initiation here on Saxa. See if they get follow-up. No?
Do have Fada here, and yeah, that's going to spook them. The rest of Empire saying, say, you're on your own. So Shaman wanted to go in, start something off, but the rest of the team, they didn't want a single part of that.
He saw the Razor coming, but he's like, well, there's nothing I can do. He just has to commit to it.
And they're going to get more of this by the looks of NIP, despite the fact that Empire tried to get out of there. An Omni Slash will come out from Dream, but he'll still fall after it as 3 die on Empire. NIP ready to push on.
Both those two heroes just invulnerable there with the Ursa ulti and the ice armor. Oh, they're playing some pig balloon.
Well, there's balloons out there celebrating, and understandably so for Ace, at least how farmed he is. He knows that to be where he's at 23 minutes in, the outlook of the game's pretty good for the team as a whole. The mid lane now getting pushed in by NIP. They are going to see Empire come back up, like they go for any sort of tier 2 defense. The OD just about 1,000 gold off from having a BKB on top of the Hex, which will make it a little easier for him to enter the fights. Still obviously a lot of focus on physical damage though, so he has to make sure that NIP's cores don't get on top of him. So they will still fight through that BKB with ease.
They just can't even contest buildings right now. It's really hard, especially without RP. And like the scary thing of this game was basically Mag empowering Juggernaut. Look at his net worth. He's behind Ursa just because the laning stage was so hard. And even then, Magnus doesn't even have much farm. He's got the farm level of support. This game's looking really bad for Empire. Like the good things that they have going for them is basically just OD.
It is just the OD.
And they do have Mag Empower on Jug, but he hasn't been able to profit from it in a net worth sense.
Absolutely.
It's only a like, well, at least we have slightly more damage than we would normally.
Jug with Empower, as you say, should not be behind an Ursa at this stage.
Yeah,
that is unfortunately the situation for Empire. A lot of weight on Kodos and a lot of weight on maybe trying to utilize that high ground defense to their strengths. But it's going to require some incredible jumps and initiations and being able to catch NIP's heroes off one by one.
I mean, they have no towers at this point. Like, good luck getting map control. Yeah. And there's an Ursa with a Basher on the map, so you can't even split push super easily. NIP grabbing as many bounty runes as possible. They snag 3 there. They'll push out lanes, they're going to wait for the next Roche probably, and then they're going to go for a high ground. And if they succeed at a tower, then they'll turn that into Shrines killed, and then Empire actually has no map control. On the bright side for Empire, best thing they have going for them is that Nip does not hit towers at all. CK is maybe the best they've got. Razor could buy an Ags at some point as a tower hitting solution, but they have to get kills first. So Nip is going to most likely want to aim for that. Get kills, go high ground, or Aegis plus kills plus high ground.
on the high ground at the moment, but 33 and PPD watching from the side. Now going to be able to get the pull onto Seiya with that high ground observer ward. They see him.
Yeah, that's kind of counter. That's not good.
Oh, the double shackles. That's what we talked about earlier.
Watch
That's
out.
exactly how it looks like, as PPD's going to get locked down. He'll die. The BKB's going to be popped by the OD, but Fada's on top of him, chasing him in with the Eye of the Storm, the static link as well, stealing that damage. Ace is going to jump forward, look towards Dream, and RP will be attempted. They have managed to kill off the Ursa. Another shackles. It is there onto Ace as well as the Serpent Ward's beating down, but it's just down to the Jug and the Shaman to try and take this fight, and they just can't do it, as there's a triple kill for Fada. Only the Shaman left alive, and he'll fall as well. Ultra kill for Fata's Razor.
He did so much damage in that fight. It was incredible. I was watching him that whole fight. He got to do everything he wanted at every single moment. And his items look so defensive, but that's exactly what he needed. He just needed BKB so that he could walk into a fight, take all the damage, and it doesn't matter if they're magic immune. He still gets to do everything he wants. His ultimate hits through BKB. It does physical damage and lowers armor. And he just starts auto-attacking. He must have had like 300 damage.
But how do you itemize against this Razor at this point? It's almost impossible.
You need to force him away from whoever stack links him. That way his damage is severely limited. Yeah. And here's what happened. They won a team fight, they killed heroes, and now they're high ground. That's all they needed.
And they've got to try and high ground hold without the ultimates. But they did use outside of the base there to...
Maybe should have gone for range barracks instead. They're getting kind of close here. All of Empire's alive. All right, they're going to be fine. That catapult, that's the only reason.
Yeah, the siege creep.
Catapult backup.
Never write it off. So that is the melee gone. Successful push and the lead continuing to grow by quite a large mile. 16k lead for NIP. 27 minutes in, looking to have complete control of this game.
Looks like they're looking for map control in this area before they go for shrines. At least they're temporarily saying, nope, gonna find a kill maybe.
Gonna look towards Dream. Blade Fury will be there. 33 doesn't want to go for it. I respect the distance that he has.
Big level for CK. Reality Rift pierces spell immune. Used to be at level 25, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
I think maybe a while ago, yeah. They have moved his talents around a little bit.
No, maybe that has been there a while. I can't remember.
I don't know,
but it's very good.
Purge.
It's very good against BKB heroes and
Yes.
Jug Spin.
Yep.
So now, basically, there's nothing holding. Like, NIP has like the perfect situations to deal with BKB heroes. Like, if for playing against a Jug, they have 3 amazing heroes: Ursa, Razor, and now CK. It's like incredible. So even though he's got Mag and Power, it doesn't matter.
Well, it's not done
They
a
got
lot
the
from this
counters.
game.
Look at his net worth.
It really
11,000.
Farm's not been there. Fights haven't been there for him either.
And even though his build looks cool and he's building like agility items to make him power better, if he just gets disrupted, he's going to die to his own illusions.
Oh yeah, that's
He's going to mana drain himself.
And he just looks sort of the Ace's CK, walking around, what, 4,700 HP with that armlet on.
Which is wrong. You should turn it on when you have heart. It should always be on.
Yeah, he's got, yeah, but he had it on, yeah.
Oh, he did? Okay.
He did, yeah.
Oh, he's...
I think so, right? Is it? Well, maybe he hasn't got it on, but you're right, he should put it on.
That's a damn mistake.
Dire's top shrine is under attack.
Especially because he has Manta, too. His illusions could just be stronger. Quado apologizing for Ace not having armor on. Thank you. Apology accepted. Empire doing what they can to get farm on the map. Looks like 3-3 is aiming to go for an Abyssal next. Still not going to offer a blink at any point. Just a little interesting. Did he have BKB? I can't remember.
On who, Ace? No.
The Ursa was 3-3. Unsure. Oh, he's got his armor. He's a strong one.
Oh, he's got it, yeah.
He's also got an Arcane. This is kind of a, just, you have an Arcane rune like this. It's not bad. He ends up, one of them gets hexed. The other one's hitting tower. It's not incredible damage, but it's doing some stuff. They've already got the other barracks dead, so a little costly to do that, kind of, but it'll be off cooldown in another probably 90 seconds. Better than 150. Yeah, he does have BKB on Ursa.
Oh, okay, so he's ready to jump in.
It's probably fine not to get BKB then. Because at least then when you run in, they can't cast spells on you other than RP. And frankly, even if he does get RP, it's really not that bad. Like, that's kind of what we saw in the last fight. He still died to, like, the OD ulti, but that's just the Ursa. It's the benefits of the offlane Ursa.
Yeah, this Razor and CK, which are the bigger issues.
But that's really the benefit of running, like, a core or, like, a carry in the offlane anyways. Is like, if it works out because the lane matchup is good, then you have extra core potential. But if it doesn't work out because you think that you can get away with it and you can't, then it feels really bad. So then you're like, I have this Ursa that needs farm to be ready to participate, but he can't. Might see a fight top 2, by the way. We won't see it, but
We'll see.
it might happen.
It might happen.
For somebody's eyes.
Let's have a look.
Let's go take a look at their whole team rather than where they're
But
initiating.
they are smoked.
Perfect.
They're going to go for the RP onto Fada.
big
Fada got
BKB.
the BKB off in time, though, and that's going to mean he's going to be fine. He's able to use up, pop the Sheever's guard, turn away straight towards the Magnus. Now looking towards the OD. He gets the static link off, closing the app onto Godos already. 33's been able to bring down the Grimstroke. One TP out will be there. A TP out will be attempted by the OD, and it does allow him to get out in time. Same can't be said, though, for Madden as PPD finds him in the trees. And NIP proceed to take another team fight, despite Empire being the ones themselves trying to make a go. Very quick reactions there from Fada with the BKB, just meaning they couldn't kill the target off during the RP.
Looked so okay, but in the end, they're still so far behind.
Yeah, very far. 21k. A Roshan as well, easily going to NIP.
I mean, he had Shivas anyways, so he was like
He was
stupidly tanky. And I'm guessing he probably got the 10 armor talent too.
He did.
There was just like very low chance for them to get that kill. Look at that guy. 2600 HP. Got 38 armor. Good luck.
Well, Empire again, ready to set up for that high ground defense, but it's going to be against an Aegis and a Cheese next time. As NIP very ready to look to force that potential final team fight. And Siege as the items continue to come out for themselves, but not for that of Empire. That's 33. You just see as well opting to refresh the drum charges. He's got them back up to the full charges of 6, ready to go. Given that extra bit of burst potential. He's in the midst of the fights. The build from the OD has slowed down a bit since after the BKB. He's got the 4-staff, he's hoping for a Sheever's guard, but the Jug caught outside of the base without buyback. Dead for a full minute now. You do still have the OD to punch into targets, but without that Jug, having the Empower to follow up a good RP, the options are looking very limited for Empire.
They'll end up going bottom, just because that wave isn't as pushed out, but they can very easily hit tower, especially with the AC up on CK now. About equal attack speed to what Midas gives you, but the minus armor on tower, the armor to allies and yourself is going to be hard to cut through. OD does have the solutions though. Pure damage, tons of magic bursts. It's something that can kill CK, but probably not twice.
Bottom racks just being taken, and without the Jug, no attempt from Empire to even try and start a fight.
They're losing so much, there's a really good chance the game ends instantly if they fight 4v5, so they have to just wait. And Nip is going to try to do as much as they can in the next 14. Maybe they, he's just going to go up and hit it. He's got Aegis, he really doesn't care.
Yeah, Aegis straight in.
Oh my god, she's just dead. He's so far ahead, just gets an easy kill.
There will be a buyback from Black Archangel on the Grimstroke. Jug's going to be back in the game. They have got the ults, Madden hiding in the trees. Hoping that he can set up some sort of dream RP, but they're playing safe, keeping themselves smoked up and split up. It's so hard for Empire to find any sort of jump. With the racks just getting taken in front of their faces. The Jug, he's going to try and lead in here. Madden does go for the RP, gets a couple of them. They've got the Omni Stash as well. PPD game port down low. He's going to be disrupted, safe
OD
for now.
soon.
As they turn towards the OD, PPD will die, but Empire, they've already lost the Grimstroke and the OD. GG is called as game 1 pretty easily will be taken by NIP in this best of 3, as they do just outclass and outperform Team Empire.
Outclass is by far the best way to describe that. That looked so much like a tier 1 team
Yes.
just pooping on a tier 2 team.